Hey guys, it's Targan coming at you with another game, Minecraft. Really, it's just wheat. We're just gonna get some more wheat. Obviously, we don't have enough seeds. I moved the bar around. That's where we wanted it. So once we get a couple more seeds, we'll go and plant somewhere new. You know the drill. We're not breaking any new ground here. Oh yeah, always know exactly what you're gonna get. Such as it is. C'est la vie. It's just such a good song. I guess we'll go plant over here today. Over here is a good spot. So we've got choices now, right? So you've already got like that whole arc. Oh, we went all the way over there. That's good. Well, because plenty of meat on that side, you know, like that might. I don't know. See, the thing is that the Temple of Wheat's going to be built up there someday. Yeah, we can just keep on doing over here. It's good to work on a place like this when you're somewhat seed limited anyway, right? Because for all of the efficiency that you can get in a straight line, man oh man, is it hard to get it in a place like this. But that's, you know, that's why the beauty of the wheat of the mountainside is far beyond that of the wheat of the plain. Everybody knows that. Everybody. Hey, Angelo, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, you know, I didn't have quite enough wheat yet. One of these days I will. Maybe. But until then, more is always better. Hey, Liam. You say you're doing great, Angela? Well, that's awesome. Good to hear it. Can I be evasive? I'm all right, I guess. I was sick last week, and I don't like feel physically bad since then. I just have felt like kind of crummy for a little bit now, but you know, it's not important. Normally, I would just lie. Yeah, that's traditional, right? When so like whenever I like become like actual friends with somebody, I tell them that they can't ask how I'm doing. And I like don't ask them how they are. It's like when you upgrade from like being an acquaintance into one of my like actual close friends, I just treat you like entirely differently. I'm like, no, I'm actually upset all the time, but now I like you too much to lie to you, so you're not even allowed to ask me how I feel. You know, it's very, very responsible of me. Cause it's traditional, right? But like, but the closer I am to someone, the more I don't want to lie to them. You know, like, obviously, like the person who's like checking me out at the grocery store. Let me explain. Once upon a time, there were people that checked you out at the grocery store. But if there were one and they asked how I was doing, you know, they don't want to hear about, you know, like the crushing despair of life in the modern world. They want to hear fine. Which is why I think we should just say, like, other things. Like how in The Lord of the Rings, where he's like, good morning. And, you know, but really, it's just a morning to be good on. Only that would have been in The Hobbit, of course. Not The Lord of the Rings. Hey, Lucifer. Yes, that's me. I'm the farmer. What happened to the super chat button? Oh, so you know how I really hate filling out forms? Well, anyway, so this like short version is that they like once you fit the qualifications for monetization, they like enable it, but then like if you don't fill out a bunch of forms, then they take it away again. So that's what happened. And then I filled out what I thought was the form thing that I had to do. Because this would have happened like months ago, right? And then it turned out there was more forms. I just haven't done them. I really, really hate filling out forms. Every time I think about doing it, I just go lay down and take a nap instead. Every time. So if I ever am feeling like I can't go to sleep, I just tell myself I'm going to fill out a form, and then I'll just lay down. Doing indeed, just tweet. Welcome to the world where only one thing happens. But no, like, most of the other games that I was playing, or trying to play, I just stopped having a good time with them. Or I started having, just way too much irritation whenever I was playing them. Oh, for sure, Liam. For sure. You are not lying about that. That zone is like... Just get out, right? I have such feelings about that. Not least that, because I finally beat the boss and stuff the other day. And then, like, you don't get anything. Like, it's... That game needs to go back to school on how to make you feel rewarded after you do something difficult. Because, like, they could have given me, like, a silk spool fragment and I would have felt fine about it. That gave me what I perceived to be literally nothing. Someone says I might need it at some point in the future, but that's not the same as a reward. That's like a nothing. That's a quest item that weighs 0. I don't care. Later, Angelo. It's good to see you. Hey, Tablet. Because, I mean, like... I didn't spend my whole life in Biowater, but it was like hours and hours, right? Like I just felt like the reward should have been like just something that made you feel good about doing it. Tablet, you say so much wheat. You doing a bit? Dude, do you actually not know what it looks like? Because, like, sometimes I'm like, no, like, sometimes people don't even know how much wheat I have because... But yeah, I mean, like, this is just like a little bit of wheat, right? You can't even see the real wheat. That's all over there. But I forever am entertained by the idea of people not realizing how much wheat I actually have. Yes, for every wheat I plant, I will gain one brain cell. I will have a head full of wheat, making me the wisest in the land. But I haven't like done a deep dive of research into it, but it is currently believed by some, I'm not claiming it yet though, that I might have the most wheat in the world. Some people think I already have it, but I need more before I'm going to like stake my claim to the record, right? But isn't that a fun thought? And let that just be a lesson to anyone. The only inspirational thing you should ever take from me, which is that if you really put your mind to it, you might end up with more wheat than anybody. Some people will tell you never, ever, 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 ever give up. But just plant more wheat. You can give up some other stuff. Like you don't have to just like run a marathon because you told somebody you're going to. You can back out of that. You can give up. Unless you're planting wheat. Yeah, because right now it's so we've planted 342k total seeds, but we've mined, almost 90,000 of them. So that takes us to like 250,000 ish blocks. So like a 250,000 blocks of wheat that are currently, in the ground, because those 90,000, that was getting more seeds for the wheat. But someone says that they found a field that was like 268 or something like that. Or they found someone talking about it, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to claim I have the most wheat yet. And the thing is, too, is you really get slowed down by mountainsides and stuff like this. And by slowed down, I don't mean like in a negative way. Clearly, like the beauty of a wheated mountainside demands almost no explanation, although it will often receive one. Indeed, Liam. Why stop? Why, when you have too much of a good thing, would you cease getting more of it? I wouldn't. And I almost put it up Silksong, and then I was like, no, I'm still throwing a fit. I'm still absolutely feeling all my feelings about BioWater. I don't want to play it again right now. Oh, I got so mad. I said some harsh things. I accused them of making me personally sad. I was like, I wish I was famous and they liked me so they could see that I am mad at them and that I think they suck. Which is, I think, actually a funny thing to say. All the more so because it's like, ridiculous. Like, why did you want to get famous? Oh, I have a problem with some works of art and I wanted to be sure that the artist would hear about it. I'm like, oh no, I don't have the appropriate tool. It deserves a lot of anger. It's gotta, yeah, for sure, man. Boss fight actually made you sit and contemplate your life. Yeah, the first time I went in and like I got the gauntlet and I was like, oh man, okay, we'll finish this up. And then there's the boss. When that boss dropped out, I was like, you've got to be joking. And then of course it got even worse. But I had gotten like the Biowater fast travel point, you know, before I went into the Citadel at all. I thought Biowater was Act 1. But I don't think I have like a ton left to do besides fight Lace, because I've already got like the song and all that. Because I thought I had been most places, and then someone was like, "No, you got to look around." And that, you know, I didn't even have like double jump yet, and so of course after that, opened up all sorts of things. The Secret Bench, yeah, someone told me about that. I don't think I actually would have beaten it if it weren't for that. Because it made the run just so much quicker, right? Hey, Anosa. Yeah, I'm probably not going to be doing it too much longer, but it's good to see you. But yeah, that secret bench, it really was a secret, right? Like, you would never go there. You wouldn't. Then, like, with Hades 2, I was kind of disappointed with how they pulled the story together. Someone told me, though, that I guess, like, I saw the old ending, and I can, like, go replay it, and they made it better, which is good, I guess. But I bet the things that I don't like about it are still going to be present. Oh, well, they can't all be winners, right? I mean, I got like 100 hours of good gameplay out of Hades 2. It's fine. I just felt like it fell apart. But speaking of Game of the Year nominees, it is soon to be a holiday for consumerism, so I'm hoping that Expedition 33 game will go on a bit of a sale and I'll pick it up. I thought it seemed very interesting. I remember when it came out and it was the new hotness, I even thought about picking it up, but I was playing something else at the time, and I wasn't trying to buy a game new. And then maybe like Oblivion Remastered came out. I forget the exact timeline, and then I started doing a lot of different things rather than remembering that game came out. The holiday of consumerism, yes, the day after American Thanksgiving. Because while some of the other holidays that are associated with consumerism just like have other elements, the day after Thanksgiving is exclusively a holiday of consumerism with no other elements. It represents like the most venal sides of the American character. Yeah, see, I would call Christmas a holiday with consumerism, but not like a holiday of consumerism. I think there's a distinction, you know. When you use a different preposition, it changes the meaning. Here, behind the leaves of this tree, we'll plant some wheat. That's very classy. You see, like, when you put wheat somewhere that's unlikely to be seen, that shows your dedication. Like, and I know I mention this all the time, but like in Warhammer, people will, like, they'll paint stuff like on the inside of like the panel in a tank, and then they'll like put the top of the tank on, right? So they call it hidden painting, but basically, you know, because like you're doing something that no one will ever see in your miniatures that are basically just like for you and your friends to ever look at anyway, and that's what I think about when you put a little bit of hidden wheat somewhere. Yes. No, I think often, and I'm very guilty of this myself too, but often people, when they have something that they like wheat for example, you know, they can get like way too into it, and so then you have like the encroachment of the holidays, you know, where like the great Halloween war, when Christmas tried to take over October and was finally beaten back by a horde of jack-o'-lanterns with candles for eyes. I think that happened in like 1933 or something. It was a really long time ago. It happened in Greenland. I think there's like a lot of seals involved. It was a very strange occurrence, and that's why Halloween got to continue on for another 100 years. But in 8 more years, the truce will be broken, and then Christmas and Halloween will go to war for October again. And I'm scared, you know, because I think you should let, you know, at least one of the months be for candy. But a lot of people get stressed from the holidays. My only real stress is how I'll deal with letting people down that expect anything out of me. Because, like, I'm not going to, like, behave the way that people want me to. I like to treat every day like every other day. So if you demand that something's special, like, I'm not going to argue with you about it, but I'm not going to want to change my life for it. I got enough of that whenever I was growing up, right? Man, it's like, oh, it's Monday, now you got to go to school, whatever, you know. At least they pay me to go to work. Oh, now it's Thanksgiving, you have to put on a tie? I don't want to do that. My family doesn't wear ties on Thanksgiving. They used to. No, there's only 2 holidays that really make an impact on my life, and I despise both of them. They are Mother's Day and Valentine's Day. They are the worst. But that's for professional reasons, not personal ones. As they are the busiest days of the year in the restaurant industry. And they often come on times where I normally wouldn't even be at work at all, so I extra hate them. I'm like, I could be at home right now, and instead I'm cooking for these people. You know, that kind of thing. Yeah, you know, like, why not get dressed up like you're going to church for a Thursday? but I'm pretty sure I am just staying home this year. I don't intend to go anywhere. I just have like such a strong preference for not doing anything new that even if I was gonna have a good time doing it, you know, it's got to overcome all of the inertia that's working against it. Like the whole world is rolling me back away from doing something new, so I can't just like get out of bed and do it. Ah, Liam. Yeah, you got it in one. There you go, buddy. Yeah. Yep, there you go. Oh yeah, man. Yep, that was my growing up. I don't go anymore or anything. Black Friday sales is just a loot drop with extra enemies for Christmas. What a great metaphor. No, it's not all bad. Black Friday has given us like good episodes of TV shows sometimes, you know. So if people's like bad behavior and obsessions can lead to good art, then, you know, I guess it's worth it that somebody is gonna like, no. I'm like, don't tell that joke. Somebody might actually get hurt on Black Friday and then I'll feel bad. I won't feel bad, but I should, and that's the same. I'm like, don't say that they're going to, you know, get their face torn off trying to buy like a hot pink coffee mug. That probably happened like a month ago and I'll sound insensitive. And to be fair, I don't want to like joke about anybody getting hurt that's actually hurt, but you know, sometimes you just want to be funny about people being jerks in the store. But the internet's so wide, you know, and there's so many people in the world. Like, actually, my sister lost 3 of her legs in a Starbucks tumbler accident, so you're being very insensitive. And I would believe them, you know, because their sister would only have 5 legs left. Their sister's a spider. Later, Inessa. Yeah, you know, talking in depth about that kind of thing isn't really what I do here. But you don't have to worry about offending me. We can put it that way, all right. You don't gotta worry that you're gonna bother me with your interpretation of your past with that, and certainly I won't try to argue with you. People will often make a lot of things sound easy, but I don't mind talking about something, but like, you know, when we touch on, it gets all complicated, right? Because I don't want, like, how to say it? I don't want to let my bitterness, like, come out too strongly, right? I'm certainly like not uncomfortable hearing anybody else talk their trash. I don't want to ever get started. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to ever get started. I will go off, and that's not what I want to do on video, right? Like, if I get mad about a video game, that's one thing, but it's highly likely that I would get too bent out of shape, and that is not not what I want to do here. We didn't grow wheat or anything growing up, of course. We did have a garden. And I would wake up in the morning and milk goats. Usually just one goat. There are multiple goats, but you know, they are my other brothers and sisters' responsibilities. I don't have a goat now. I don't think I would want another one. Which I knew at a very early age. Still kept the goat, though. What I wanted didn't usually matter very much, right? A lot of time being told what to do. The which I don't miss at all. But so many times, thousands of times, I would tell myself, look, just stick it out, and eventually you'll get older and you can leave and you won't have to do any of this stuff anymore. And it's funny that I was telling myself that, because that's also what my parents told me all the time. They were like, it doesn't matter what you want, but you don't have to do it after you leave. And they were right, I didn't. Of course, I didn't have to do a lot of things, and I didn't do that either. So, you know, who's really winning now, Mom and Dad? Nah, it's mean. I don't care. It's only mean because my life turned out to be such a shambles. If it was a great success, then they would have a lot to take credit for, right? And that's why the joke's on them. Nah, I like my parents now. I just didn't really like being a kid at all. Like, whenever I went to elementary school and I came home and I was like, they can't teach me anything there. Everybody's so dumb. Just let me stay home and learn. And they wouldn't let me, you know. Still bitter. I could have learned so much if I didn't have to go to school. And now I've decided I'm never going to learn anything again. I'm just going to plant wheat. Just going to harvest wheat and acquire wheat seeds. We're gonna mend our tools using wheat. That's all my life's gonna be. Because they made me go to elementary school. And if it sounds like I'm joking, only a little bit. Only a little bit. I still am pretty bitter about elementary school. I don't think it was a place for smart people. I mean, sure, I didn't know how to tie my shoes before I went, but after I got that, like, what else was there? You say your parents would tell you they would think you were right later. Yeah. There's certainly a trait in adults whenever they interact with you know even like quite old teenagers, but anyone that they don't consider a proper adult, which could sort of extend beyond the ages of legal adulthood in a lot of cases, where like you think that just because you know some stuff that like what's best for other people in their lives, it's a very tempting thing. Especially, like, if you're talking to someone and it seems like they've got no clue. But, like, just because somebody's clueless doesn't mean you know better than them. I think a lot of people don't get that. Like, someone could be walking around with 3 bricks and, like, a little piece of gravel for a brain. That still doesn't mean that, like, I know what's best for their life, or that I could, tell them, what's meaningful, or how they want to spend their time. And in fact, the more different somebody is from me, the less likely I'll be able to figure out anything like that about them. But there's always a temptation to make things simple, right? It's attractive to like our pattern seeking, to be like, no, we'll like find a template for how to approach a problem, and then other people will see it our way. Like I'm very guilty of this. I try to restrain myself often, but I'm like, if I just explain all of the information that surrounds something, right? If I can just explain well enough like what's going on, then people will definitely agree with me at the end. And they won't. That's super naive. It's one of the most silly things that I believe, but I do believe it. I have to fight against it all the time because, like, people don't believe different things because they have access to different information, although that can be a part of it. Like, they do because they're different people. And whether or not people want to make you feel this, it can very often, in my experience, happen that when you get sort of treated with like a one-size-fits-all mentality, it's like they don't even see you. Like you can sit there and be telling a person the way you want my life to be is never gonna be the way mine is, and they'll be like, no, it'll be fine, you'll like it. And it's just like totally insane. But like I said, I don't miss being young. There were some good parts about it, but it's nice being able to choose what I do with my days, even if it's something relatively incomprehensible, like plant a very large amount of wheat. Fish giving advice to another on how to swim. A good metaphor. But of course, even within that, there are layers of complexity. Because almost always, which is frustrating indeed, but almost always, people are actually, trying to help by being the most obtuse versions of themselves that are possible. But I have, I'm a real bitter guy. So, like, the other day I was reminiscing about hanging out with one of my old friends. Someone's like, have a sleepover. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember, like, we would play Pokemon Red and Blue. We would, like, start a new save file, and, like, hang out and like how good those times were. I'm like, man, yeah, man, I miss those days. And then I'm thinking, I'm like, no, I don't. Like, that didn't happen every week. But, oh, I'm gonna butcher the quote. Gabriel Garcia Marquez. I'll just summarize it rather than trying to quote it. He has this this thing that he says that I'll summarize, where he says something along the lines of how the way that people deal with their memories of the past is by throwing away the bad parts and holding on to only the good ones. And that's how we make the loss bearable. But I wish that was true for me. I hold on to the bad ones too. But it's not so bad anymore. I still feel lousy a lot, but I try not to worry about it too much. So I was always a real melancholy kid anyway, right? But I just have, you know, I'm just so lucky. So I get to live out my dreams. Today I went to work this morning, right? It's not my dream to have a job, but I always knew I'd have to have one. I wasn't born rich. You know, you can't have everything. Then I got home and I ate some ice cream just like right out of the bucket because it's just my ice cream bucket. I don't have to share it with anybody. And then I took a nap for like 4 hours in the middle of the day. And when I got up, do you know what I did? That's right. I had more ice cream because I'm an adult and no one can stop me. Like, life is so good. I forget it all the time though. All the time I forget. But usually I could just stand in my kitchen with a bucket of ice cream and remember. So I remember my mom telling me whenever I was an adult, I could eat cake every meal if I wanted to, but I wouldn't want to. And she was wrong. You know, I mean, she was right. I don't want to eat cake every meal, but I will eat ice cream for breakfast. You say that we could be interacting here shows how nice life can be. Exactly. Exactly. Like, if you were to tell a little kid me that one day I'd be playing video games on the internet and people would be watching me do it, I would totally believe you, but I wouldn't even appreciate how cool it was. Because, of course, like, just doing this in general sort of represents, like, a dream coming true. You know, your parents are like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I want to play video games. So, like, that's not what you do. And I'm like, it could be. I mean, it isn't. Obviously, I'm a cook, not a video game player, but it could be. No. I'm just playing. I don't have any expectation that would ever happen. Nice dream, though. It's good to dream. Some people dream by, like, playing the lottery. I don't mean to be disrespectful of other people's dreams, but I can do arithmetic, and I don't do that. But it's still nice to dream, though. Hey, Centaur! How's it going, man? It's been a while. The air of centaurs. Indeed, it's just wheat here. That's what we've been focused on a lot. Well, good to be focusing. So you got some other stuff too. Well, life can be like that as well. It's good to see you. Glad that you could spend a little time and check out the wheat field. It's even more wheat than it used to be, as I'm sure you could imagine. You say you've been inspired, you're going to start your own wheat field in Minecraft? That's awesome! Ah, what a wonderful thing to hear. And yes, you won't get any argument from me that it'll be better than scrolling social media. You know, I'm an old person, phones are bad, I don't even use a smartphone, y'all know that about me. If I could plant wheat in Minecraft on a phone, though, I might get one, so don't tell me if I can, I don't want to know. No, I still wouldn't get one. Oh, Centaur, you say the plant's turning into dirt? It's been a few patches since that's been the case where that would happen. Now irrigation just makes it grow faster, and it will maintain the plot of land being tilled with the hoe, even if it's not planted. If it's fertilized, it'll stay tilled rather than turning back into dirt. But I don't know when that changed. It was before I even played the game. I've only been playing like a year and a half, right? But it's always been this way for me. And while lots and lots of the wheat field is irrigated, these sections here are never meant to be harvested. So it's all for the glory and the beauty of wheat here. Done. Is this peaceful mode? Yes, yes. Yeah, I also have a hardcore world It's just got like some wheat in it, you know. Not nearly this much. Sometimes I'll be playing and I'm like, hey, this is quite a problem. What do I do about these pillagers spawning? I'm like, oh, why don't we plant wheat over their entire life? You say that's a lot of seeds? Oh. Do you not know what we're doing here, man? Yeah, it's a lot of seeds, but you know. When you have this much wheat. This is just like half of the field, by the way. The other half won't really fit in the frame. But isn't that a cool pan out? Like, isn't that cinema, you know? Because it doesn't even look like very much from far away. But yeah, this is just this part of the field. But yeah, but this is of course the mountain of wheat here. One of our great prides and joys. But then over in that direction, as you see past that sand pillar in the sky, it goes on for a little bit over there. There's more wheat on this side than on that side, though, by a pretty wide margin. But yes, it is a lot of seeds. And like I was talking about earlier, some people, it is thought, it is believed that I have the most wheat in the world. But I'm not claiming it yet. I need to more properly research it. And, you know, maybe it won't even be a legal field because I use Spectator to fly around. I'll have to start over in a world where we follow all the rules. I don't want my wheat world record any % thrown out. Say you died on Bedrock when you got to 300 in Bedrock. Awesome. Yeah, I'm on day like 780 or something now. It's been going super good. Just been doing some silly little projects. One of the turtles, I lost him for like 150 days. We lost Donatello, something like that, but we just found him again, so that's very good. Started a new Hardcore World 2. Yeah, I keep thinking, I'm like, man, maybe I should just start another one. And I'm like, but, you know, I'll just keep playing the one I have until I die. Because I tried to do like a random game seed run on easy, but easy's too hard. I couldn't do it. Because I've only beat the game the one time. But yeah, like I couldn't beat the blazes. I died to the blazes and gave up. It was slightly longer than my other random game seed run went. I think I like got to a bastion and then knocked a bunch of lava on my own head. But it's like, if I'm trying to like play easy fast, I'm not gonna have time to get, you know, Prot 16 armor. And that is why easier is harder than hardcore. Because on hardcore, you're being careful. But on easy, you're an idiot. I mean me, not you. So... Sometimes I'll say you, but I mean me. It happens a lot. It's like there's just something about starting into a new world in Minecraft that's just so exhilarating, where you don't know what's going to be going on around you. You know, where at any turn you could see whatever your favorite biome is. You know, like maybe you like, forests. Maybe you like cherry groves like me, or lush caves, or badlands, or big coral reefs, and you just never know what you're going to get. You can just get on a boat and go for a little bit and, like, just see such wonders. And when you need stuff, too, it's so much more interesting. Because, like, right now, in hardcore, like, I literally, like, I don't need diamonds, right? You know, we got netherite gear, it's whatever. We don't need diamonds. So if I go somewhere and see them, I'm like, oh, cool, some diamonds, a curiosity. But you don't get that, like, exhilaration of getting materials when you don't have any. Like, you only get that in a new Minecraft world. Because there's a sad moment when you go from, oh, great, I found iron, I'm going to be able to use this for so many activities, and then you go into, oh, there's some iron, I'll just leave it in the ground, maybe someday I'll dig it up, I don't feel like doing it, you know? And that's iron, you can make buckets out of it, you can make shields, iron's the best, but how quickly we forget our roots, right? Yeah, because, like, maxed out diamond or netherite armor, it's just, like, so good. Like, you can just... It's like you're not even playing. You're just like, oh, yeah, they hit me 18 times. I'm like, oh, I need to eat something. Like, that's really when you take damage, is if your saturation goes away because you're just not paying attention to your food meter. I think you just let them hit you if you're eating food the whole time and you won't go down. Says, like, a podcast from Talking Chat. That's sort of like what Just Wheat is always supposed to be for, right? Because I try to be, like, you know, responsive and, you know, personal and stuff in general whenever I'm streaming, but, you know, most of the time I'm playing a game where I'm going to be talking more about what's going on in the game, you know. But here, I mean, it's Just Wheat. And while there's much to be said for it, you know, that you're not gonna find me underpraising wheat, but... And then just like, and in hardcore, after I got the elytra too, and I think the elytra, like, it's wonderful, but you really, really change the way you feel about the world and how it looks and what it means to be a part of the Minecraft world as soon as you acquire the power of flight, right? Because when you can very, very quickly ignore terrain, all of a sudden, you know, your memories of it just, they're gone. Because what you took was like a sequence of, this is a forest and we go up the mountain and then down into the water and then over to the right. Now you're just like, all right, we'll just rocket up in the sky, and 45 seconds later we're at this other thing. So it's like you compress all of the game into this tiny little moment, and then you can just like jump into it, which is cool for the elytra. But I definitely do like feel the loss whenever I'm on my hardcore world. It's like World 334, you know, we died on the Ender Dragon. That whole world was played on the ground, on a boat, you know, like we were a part of it. We stayed a part of it. And on this new hardcore world, we beat the Ender Dragon, I think, before day 100. So it's been like 700 days since I ever had to think about that. I didn't get the elytra super immediately, but pretty soon after. You know, and that's just like a really, really long time to sort of casually ignore the terrain. And like I can like remember where some stuff's at, but I don't even know what it's like to move through, you know, whatever jungle that I know where it is, because I've never had to walk through it, and I never will. I mean, I could walk through it, but I won't. And that's just like in World 334, across the river from our treehouse was the world before 334. The world that didn't have a name. Across the river from our treehouse, there was a jungle and then a dark forest, and one time I was trying to come home with a boat full of treasures from this huge adventure we had been on. I had like a boat with a box in the back of it full of treasure and stuff, and then it ends up getting hit by like a drowned with a trident. The boat like explodes. I'm like halfway home. I'm frantically trying to get to a safe spot because I don't want to die like this, right? And I'm just like, why am I traveling at night? You don't get that when you're flying in the air, right? It doesn't matter if you can fly away. But man, like what a cool moment that was. You know, you get your shulkers, you get your ender chest. Now all of a sudden, you don't have to worry about going home. You don't have to worry about how much you carry, and that's good. But it also, you know, removes all of that time. Now, is travel time always good? I mean, not necessarily. But I think stuff like building canals and railways and stuff like that for traveling is very awesome. And, you know, you kind of have to make yourself do it if you're flying. I mean, not me. I like the railways. That's how it's meant to be. Oh, fair enough. Yeah. Lots of times I'm like, I should just walk there. And I'm like, no, like if we fly there, then we can get started. It's like the Ferris Bueller line, right? It does feel insane to fly in the nether. Like the other day, I was like trying to run down my nether highway, and I realized I like didn't bring obsidian, so I couldn't build an exit portal. I was just trying to like go to look for a biome in the overworld, and I was trying to move fast. So I was like, you know what? I'll just fly back. That'll be faster than running back on the highway. And it was. It took like 10 seconds to get what I had just run, you know, 500 blocks to do. And then another 2 minutes to find the last 30 blocks that I was walking, because I can never find anywhere in the nether, which is why I built the highway. But we went past the exit. Yeah, Liam, I totally agree. Because, like, the inconveniences, because I haven't played, like, a ton of survival games, right? But every survival game that I am familiar with has sort of, like, a corner that you turn. Where now it's not really about surviving anymore. Now you've got your stuff, you know? Now you're set. And now you can do whatever you want to do. And the Elytra is like that, but instead of like with survival elements, it's more like, you know, with traversal elements. It's like, hey, you've gone to enough of the world to see the nether and then to find your stronghold. You've slayed the dragon, so now you can go anywhere you want to go. But It's bittersweet though. Because finding a mountain taller than the tops of the clouds whenever you can't fly is the most magical thing in Minecraft. Or it was to me. Or finding floating islands, you know. Where you're like, man, okay, I guess I'll build up there and then we'll see what the view is like. And then, like, you can just, like, go to them, which is fine. That's cool, but it's not as cool as them being mysteries. Wonder if I'll ever finish a project here that I was working on in the past. I doubt it. I was thinking of restarting it in the hardcore world, though. When do I think I will stop planting seeds? Today, like pretty soon. Maybe like now already. There's the lightning rod. It's to protect the library. This will ensure that the lightning doesn't, you know, strike the village. I built it a long time ago. There's the old chicken hatchery. Because I used to do more things in this world before it became just, wheat. I don't even really remember where it is, but we'll find it. Got 93% on Eon Mobile. Nice! I know Eon. Old Bouncy is currently trying that one. That's the village of water bees. Alright. The village of water bees is called that because I found some bees like flying over the waterway over here. And then we led them home. And then there's a reef. Like, where is the project? It'll be over this way. Yeah, but that's awesome. Oh, no one's ever done it on mobile yet. That's so cool. But anyway, here's this project that we were working on. It was this is before the wheat field really kicked off. This is before we played hardcore. But yeah, see, we as you see, we drained the monument here. That was the project. We didn't like quite finish it. We finished a lot of the inside, you know, for research. But I was thinking it could be cool to drain one in hardcore. A little annoying, but cool. So we might start on that one of these days. And we popped so many cows that you can actually see the dirt. It's crazy. Like, look. Have you guys ever seen so few cows in here? You haven't. Like, how many... This is only like 400 cows. Wild. Alright. Let's get these cow numbers way up. I could use this time to fix the field. I won't. But yeah, I started playing some platformers on Geometry Dash. That was a lot of fun. Very cool stuff there. Because the classic game, it just hurts my hands. I had to stop playing regular levels. No, I went over by the chicken farm the other day, and I was like, oh, that's that sure is a lot of chickens. Like all of the egg catchments are full. When I first built the field, I didn't know anything about the animals. I'm like, okay, we'll have to have some water for them to drink. And actually had wheat planted up here. I'm like, and they can munch on the wheat. And that's why we put these hay bales. Because, like, maybe they'll eat the hay bales and that will make new ones occur. So you just taught yourself calculus? Nice! Yeah, you know, the early stuff in it can be very sensible, by which I mean it can make a lot of sense, depending on the person. Of course, very advanced stuff is unlikely to be really easy to get a hold of, but if it is, then that's awesome. I remember whenever I thought I was good at math, whenever I was like a child, and then I discovered both that advanced math required a lot of thinking and that I didn't think it was interesting. Because my aunt has like advanced degree in mathematics, and she's like a teacher and stuff. And very quickly I was like, oh, I don't think any of this is interesting. It's cool that you're good at it. But yeah, so like these are the boxes of eggs, right? And then down here all the egg catchments are full of eggs too. And those boxes which can't even open are probably full of eggs, and the hoppers are full of eggs, yeah. Because this used to be where all of the experience farming was done. I figured this out basically all on myself. Oh, ish. Someone told me that a redstone repeater could exist. And then I worked out my little farm there. And then here we have the Great Library, of course. But do you know what's underneath the island? Do you see how this sandstone is slightly different than the other? There's not actually anything here yet. This is the big project that we've abandoned, because the idea is that there should be a secret great library underneath the merely good library. And you, like, knock through the sandstone there, right? And so in here, this is where the good stuff is, right? This is where we have our thousands of bookshelves, right? Our boxes of emerald blocks and in our bookshelves, and then there's also like a way to escape this way, which is harder when you don't have your Depth Strider boots on. Anyway, which is harder when you don't have your Depth Strider boots on, but it just comes out right there. Build a solid survival? Yeah, I'll, yeah, for sure. I got a spectator to, like, fly around and look and stuff, but, yeah. So, since we're touring, yeah, let me... Because you've already seen where we would get the leather for all of the books, and actually have boxes and boxes of nonsense around, but... I've got like a sugarcane island over in this other thing, because other people automate. I don't. I scale. But yeah, this is my first world, right? So it's all in survival. I think I've been in creative mode for a very brief period of time. I think I like gave myself, like an axe once. It would have been like not early in the world. It would have been like, hundreds of days in. But yep, I like getting this stuff. Am I good at calculus? I wouldn't say so. I took a class in it, and I might be able to remember some things, but probably not many. We got our little vaporwave sheep corral, and I love this. I made this little island like forever ago. With our little, just a little house. Ocean Research Station #1. I never built another one, but put a little cauldron, and I planted this wheat way before any of the other wheat field, right? Like, really, this is where we had our first wheat. I dug this hole. Because once upon a time, I came out of the nether end of this lush cave down here. And then when I dug up, I was in the middle of this ocean here, which that red pillar indicates for. So I was like, I need to dig down. So I dug this hole with like stone tools, right? And I was like, it's gonna look amazing. It doesn't. It doesn't look good at all. But I built it. Here's my treehouse of trees. Yeah, because I didn't have any diamonds left, and I didn't have a lot of iron. I didn't want to use it. This is my first. This is like my terracotta museum, I call it. I have a better preserved one in my Minecraft hardcore world. But yes, this is my treehouse of trees. We grew it from trees. There's not much. There's a secret tunnel here that leads to the coolest lush cave in the world. It's good to have secret tunnels through the mountain. I think so. I didn't know the lush cave was there originally, but so when we were digging this out, there's this tree here, and then someone was like, because I was like, where would they have found the clay? And then there ended up being a terracotta cave underneath it. But yeah, and here's our, this is the sugarcane field, right? So we built the sugarcane field, and we got these trees. So we would grow the trees and have the sugarcane growing, and then we would dig out here and like work on this and then go up there and you know, harvest that. How much sugarcane do I need? Did you not see that I had like 7,000 bookshelves? When I called it a great library, what did you think I was gonna make? But yeah, the treehouse, thank you. Yeah, I built it out of trees. I didn't like build it from the wood, right? I didn't even like have the idea. So we grew 4x4 spruces next to 2x2 spruces in a 4-block 4x4 next to each other, like in a ring, right? And they would grow up, and then we would like level them out, and then we grew another level of them in the middle with dirt on it, and then to make it taller. But yeah, but that's the world. That's most of the stuff. Oh yeah, Liam. You know what? Real quick, let's go down into the mine, right? Where a million diamonds shine. Cause this is like the story of the place, right? Cause this is where we went, and like when I didn't know where to go, we built all this, right? We dug the hole into the earth. We built our. I built like a campfire here so I could like see it whenever I went down, right? We've got like all of these like pathways so I wouldn't fall. Because I would get lost all the time, and I didn't have the F3 screen, so I couldn't see like where I was going, right? But yeah, and then, you know, just like everybody else, we traveled through the caverns, and I made this little white diorite road, you know, to guide me through. But yeah, but this is the world where I learned how to play Minecraft. If you ever go back and watch like the very first videos, you'll note that I died a lot whenever I was in random worlds. So I started this one in peaceful, and this is still the first Minecraft world. Once I started playing hardcore, moved it more into just wheat. But yeah, you know, we just traveled down in here, and then all around is just like stories of me getting lost and being like, oh man, how do I get out? And like digging up and just coming out in random spots. Like, man, whenever I first cleared this and looked down, I'm like, there's a lake of lava. And then we kind of got stuck down here for a bit, you know, because too, I was playing on peaceful, but I would just get lost, and yeah. And then this was, oh yeah, this was even earlier. This was like, so here, this was like our first attempt to go down into the depths. And we just like dug this long staircase, right? Because I was like, alright, we're playing this game, we should dig a hole. I'm a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. And like, you know, we would make little way stations as we went up. And just went down and down and down. And this was where I first saw bedrock, you know, and I was like, oh, well, I guess that's far enough. But yeah. And then, so like, and then all of these other things. So this is like the alternate way in this little cave. Will also connect like via that way to all of the other ones, but this is like where, you know, we get the old trapdoor in the house. And yeah, you know, there's that. That's because, you know, I had my house here, and then, you know, we were just exploring right around, and then one thing led to another, and now it's just wheat. But yeah. I know I said it was just wheat, but sometimes I like showing off how things have gone. Because, like, everything I learned in Minecraft, I learned from here. Like, I built all these canals, right? I learned how all that worked. I would get lost all the time. That's the central feeling of these stories, right? So you see, like, those pillars. Like, that was to keep me from getting lost so I could get my way home, that pillar. This pillar was, like, the grand pillar. You see the staircase here. And then we, like, made this white diorite pillar with a torch on it. And, like, this was the one that I always wanted to see. Because I'd be like, okay, now I know I'm about to get home. Because I would just get so lost. And everything looked the same. And I didn't know to turn render distance up more. So I couldn't see, you know, this far away. But there you have it. And of course, you know, we also have a secret tunnel underneath the farmhouse that starts in the chimney. Now, ideally, we're gonna build like an actual like railway secret tunnel that connects to the spawn over there. But before we got our portrait of Marcus Aurelius, the idea was oh yeah. And of course, you can access it by being in the basement where Famine hangs out. Yeah, with coordinates. Well, let's see. I was playing on Bedrock, so I couldn't get coordinates, right? I would just get so lost all the time. I would go into the Nether and not appreciate the distance dilation and get just super lost and then leave as soon as I could and then travel with my compass not knowing how far I was from home. To be young again. You know, this field wasn't there then. There were trees. We kept like one oak tree to remind us of what it used to be here. Famine's not suffering forever, okay? Look. Death is sitting here getting rained on. Okay? And I think Pestilence is over here getting rained on. Famine isn't getting rained on. He's okay. Why is the Nether song playing? I don't know. I've got a playlist of the Minecraft music on random. The songs are never linked to where we are. I need more variety than all that. But yeah. There we go. It's just wheat. But that's all I've got for you right now. It is time for me to go to bed. It's been time, but I've been having a good time showing off the old world. You know, it's not much, but it's mine. Glad you guys could be around for it. Anyway. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Really hope you've enjoyed. And maybe I'll see y'all in another stream or video. Later, Centaur. Good to see you. Later, Liam. Bye, Darun. Everybody else, you have a good day too. If you're watching in the future, I hope the weather is nice. I'm glad you guys enjoyed, so I'll see you later.